Hi, I'm Elise Neal. My full name is Elise Demetria Neal. My mama did not have to be mad at me because she actually named me that. My occupation is entertainer. I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I'm a performer, and I'm an actress. You know, I was just having a conversation about what inspired me to be in this business. First and foremost, I did not want to be an actress. My goal in life as a young girl was to be the next Debbie Allen. I started taking dance classes at 6 years old, tap, jazz, ballet. I'm born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. So back in the day, there was a lot of Shirley Temple marathons on a Sunday. So I would see Shirley Temple and be like, wow, that's amazing what she's doing with her feet. You know, Mom, I want to know how to do that, you know. So my mom enrolled me in classes, and of course the tap was first, jazz and ballet and everything else followed. But my love of being on stage brought me into the entertainment business. So for, I guess you'd say from 6 to like about 10, it was just about the training. Then by like 10 to 15 was, especially being a Southern girl, was all about pageants. So I was doing a lot of pageants, a lot of like shows and things like that with different entertainers from Memphis. But this was all performing. It was not about being an actor. I went to Performing Arts High School, which is the only performing arts high school in Memphis, Tennessee, Overton High School. Got a full scholarship to PCPA, which is now University of the Arts in Philadelphia. Went to PCPA for 2.5 years, dropped out. After I got cursed out, I explained to my mom that that's what I wanted. I wanted, you know, that to be my journey. I wanted to be a performer, and I had been a performer, you know, most of my life at that point. So, and after a long talk, she understood the journey. Literally right after that, I got a performance job in Atlantic City, and I was doing this show. I was just telling this story. I was doing this show that they were trying to clean up Atlantic City entertainment. You know, I knew that was going to be short-lived, but it was a way to make money and be in the show in Atlantic City. I think it's actually very cool that people think I'm some cookie-cutter, straight-laced person. I have fooled people for years. I love the fact that I'm this girl who's from Memphis, Tennessee, who had to go to class, and I actually did take a class, and soften is a nice word, my accent. Because you know, years and years ago, I talk like this for real. Like I talk with like a little accent at the end of every word. So when I was studying at the College of Performing Arts, and also a lot of things after that, I worked on sounding more international and having a more smooth sounding voice. It was not something that I was born with. But after a lot of travel, and you know, as an entertainer, I did a lot of performing overseas. I have 3 passports as an entertainer before I started acting, all from the different musicals and different shows. I've toured in Japan, where we did Nagoya, Osaka, everywhere. I've toured in Paris, I've been to Amsterdam. I love the fact that I've been able to be to all these different cities and meet so many different amazing people. And my journey's not a journey of just being an actress and a girl from here. I love that I've spent years in the south of France performing. You know, I love the script of the movie 1982 to the point where I actually went in for this part, and because I don't like to play myself, I went in and I wanted to be the crackhead, okay? I knew I wasn't gonna get picked, let's just keep it real. Nobody wants to see Elise play something that's not so cookie cutter. They're used to me being that. So if I'm, you know, I'm shaking and I'm giving you full on episode, crackhead, it's kind of like hard for people to buy that because they've seen me for so many years as something else. I get it. But I definitely wanted to be part of the production. And it's a great script and a great story. My thoughts on movie making today, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like everybody's journey is different. As you can see, my journey is all over the place. It's like I have a journey of a person who didn't even want to do this initially. So I feel like I have had a full life that did not revolve around acting. And I think when you are trying to write a story, you need to tell about the life that you know first and experience different lives and different cultures to maybe possibly tell their story. And I say this to lightly explain why, for instance, because I do get asked this a lot. Why aren't there more people in Hollywood that aren't African American but want to tell an African American story? You don't have to be African American and run a studio to tell our story. You know, why does that happen that our stories don't get put out there? Well, number one, not too many African Americans own studios. And when you own the studio, if I own the studio, I'll just start with me. I'm gonna tell what I know. What I know is my life and my experiences. So it's gonna be a whole lot of musicals. It's going to be a whole lot of, I have sisters, it's going to be a whole lot of stories about sisters. It's going to be my experiences in my life. So I don't think it's fair to get mad at a system that's been around for generation after generation, is not run by our race, and expect another race and another culture to first thought be, I'm gonna do a story about, you know, an African American experience when they're not African American. You know, it doesn't really add up at the end of the day. So that's just why if a Tyler Perry owns a studio, this is why you get what you get from Tyler. That's his experience, that's his journey. And you have to understand that system. And movie making is about a system. It's not about, I wrote the best script in the world, so I'm gonna hand it off to Hollywood. It's gonna get made because it's the best script in the world. It's just, I wish it was that easy, but this is a system, and there's a chain of command that you have to respect, and there's a way you have to go about it. If I felt like I wrote a great script, I take that script to a literary agent. The literary agent passes it to who they may know in this industry. Then it has to get channeled down. Somebody's gonna have notes, and then I gotta accept the notes and be open to criticism. Then hopefully it's gonna go, it's a lot of steps to that. So I feel like, you know, I understand why we as a culture, we being African American, as a culture would like to see more of our stories. But it's hard to be in the forefront of movie making when we weren't there in the forefront of this movie making industry. It's a lot of catching up we're gonna have to do. The legacy of my life, I think it's kind of already begun in a weird way, but when it's said and done and I'm not doing this any longer, I would love to have the Performing Arts School by Elise Neal. I'm actually working on that right now with a lot of former mayors and things like that in Memphis, Tennessee, where I'm from, because I feel like it's definitely needed in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm working on having my own dance school there, but I'm working with the former Mayor Harrington of Memphis, and he's gonna have some charter schools starting next year. 3 of those will be performing arts schools, and my goal is to basically run one of those performing arts schools in Memphis, set the curriculum, make a template of something great, so kids have a place that they can feel that empowers them. Like, I don't know where I got this from. I just came out wanting to do this. But I feel like the fact that I have this other thing that drives me, which is the talent that I've been able to cultivate as a performer, keeps my head up in a different way than a person who does not have that. And if I could have a school that teaches dance, movement, positive thought, and positive thinking, and also do some acting classes and things like that as second curriculum. But I believe that being an entertainer from a young girl always made me keep not just my back straight, but my head in the right spot, and have a goal of what I wanted and what I could be, because I felt empowered by creating movement. And I just would love to give back in that way. As you can see, I love my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. I've never stopped talking about where I'm from and what that means, because I think it's important. You know, it's a lot of dance schools and actors and performers in New York, in LA, you know, and all these other big cities that I've been to. But bigging up a place that's not known for that, I feel, and what I read on my tweets and in my Facebook, you know, it empowers young girls and young people. And you can't forget where you come from and what that did for you. And I definitely don't forget what it did for me. And I want to be able to have the Elise Neal School, Elise Neal Foundation, something that they can go and learn and teach and have fun. And I would take all of my great friends from, you know, all the great hoofers that I work with, and have them do master classes, to the hip hoppers that I know that work with J-Lo, and be able to do master classes and things like that, and bring that excitement and that energy to Memphis and to their lives and to their hearts, so that maybe they'll go out and do something.